why are men giving up on dating? I mean, you're talking about guys that are like younger than me. I mean, I'm still pretty young, but I'm talking about guys who are starting to begin adulthood. The truth of the reality is they're seeing what's out there. They're seeing what's happening. I mean, today's age is at its worst. I think this generation is like the worst generation probably in human history, at least for like social, maturity and dating wise, that it's ever been. You're talking about like standards that have become beyond like unrealistically high. And a lot of guys, unfortunately, they're seeing what's happening with social media, because social media, I have to say, I'm using social media right now to communicate with you, but this is how we communicate now. People are using social media on a like ridiculous scale that there's not one time where I don't see people are not on their phones, or they're using social media to entertain themselves, communicate, or whatever, pay their bills or pay for something. Social media is the future, and it's actually quite scary, because with the increase of like better technology advancements, it comes at a heavy price. Everything comes with a price, and unfortunately, lack of social skills, communications, human interactions has decreased significantly. When was the last time you hung out with your friends, or even if you managed to get a date, because this whole video is about dating, that you weren't on most of the time on your phone or some shit? It's literally taking over everything, and I think that's why it's like education, lack of motivation, lack of doing anything outside. You see why so many people are overweight is because people just want to be stimulated by technology, which I understand. Technology it's amazing. The things we can do with it, the visual effects, everything that has come from technology is freaking nuts. But like I said, it comes at a heavy price, because people would rather be on their phones than getting exercise. People are, because of technology, are seeing all these food videos, of healthy, like how to make Oreo cakes and all this other shit, and it's stimulating their brains to go eat unhealthy. And there are also social media, trying to use it in a positive light, trying to make people be, more healthy, eat better, exercise, take care of their bodies. But unfortunately, the negative is outweighing the positive. And what does this have to do with the dating world? Well, dating world is now stimulated through social media. Everyone communicates through social media. And with social media, you have this variety-wide platform where you have all these options and choice. And this is where women come into the equation. Women constantly, since the beginning of time, have had men flocking up to them. Because we are seen to, we have to build ourselves up, we have to attract the woman, and then we have to win her over in order to get with her. And you have to keep her interested in you. And otherwise, if you do something wrong, you say, like even on the first date, you say one bad thing, it's over for you. Game over. Done. You say one thing to turn her off, she's done with you. You're fucked. At the end of the day, you need to understand that with social media, women have all these options to pick from. That's why, like, most men, 99% of men, unless you're the top 10% of men, or 1%, most men who send thousands of DMs or swipe, on dating apps, because dating apps is just destroying men's mentality for dating, trying to find a girl. You will not get a single reply. You'll get replied, and then eventually you'll get ghosted. You'll talk to this girl, and she'll just keep stringing you along, and you're trying to make this dates to hang out and shit, and she'll say, oh, you know what, like, I can't, do this anymore, she'll make an excuse, and she'll cut the plan short, and you're just like, fuck, wasting my time. Or you'll go on a date with her, and then maybe like literally a day later, or like 2 days later, when you think the date went fine, because here's one thing, women don't ever tell you the truth. That's just not who they are. They're interesting creatures. They will not tell you the truth directly. It's just how they are. They will not tell you the truth. And you can ask them and say, how do you think this date went? And say, I think it went great. And guys are easy. We're simple. We're like, yeah, this date went perfect. I think it went great. The woman will say, oh, yeah, it went great. But in the back of reality, she's probably thinking, yeah, I'm not feeling this guy. Like, I got to find a way to cut this guy loose. And then you get a text message from her say, hey, like, you know, I kind of like, you know, I appreciate you hanging out with you, but, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm just not feeling it with you. Or like, you know, like, sorry, I'm just not interested in dating right now. They're just going to make some bullshit excuse to cut you loose. And then boom. They'll always say that. But what I've noticed with them, because I've had plenty of dates, you know, some were successful, some were unsuccessful. Shit happens. But at the end of the day, for most guys who can't even get one single date, if the date goes to shit, because let's be honest, most guys fuck up the first date. We always like fuck up, because I fucked up the first date. The first time I ever got one date, the first time I got my first date, I fucked it up because I was trying to talk too much. I was trying too hard to convince this girl, like, yo, I'm interesting. You know, just shut the fuck up. Let her do the talking, bro. You know, don't, you know, try to be so hard. Just be chill. And you know what? If she's not attracted to you for that shit, then, you know what? It's her loss. Okay, whatever. Move on. Next. It's just how shit is. You know, a lot of guys, unfortunately, they're invisible. We are invisible. 99% of guys are invisible to women. There's not one single woman on this planet, I guarantee you, that's invisible. She at least she can be, you know, a 4, a 2. She at least has like 2 guys, 3, 6, at least a decent amount of guys that are giving her attention. They're probably on her same level that are unattractive, that are trying to get with her. Or at least giving her, you know, this stimulation of, you know, value, or feel like feeling being wanted. It's men, 99% of men. If you are a average guy working at KFC, McDonald's, you know, doing shit. Yeah, I know, I'm in a kitchen right now. Ha ha ha. But I work at a hotel. And if you're doing shit, you know, like that, you're working at KFC, McDonald's, you know, wherever you're working an average Joe job, you're not getting any chicks. And if you do get chicks, they're on the level, on your level, and they're most likely they're cheating on you, and they're freaking around with other guys. And unfortunately, 80%, I would argue, most people say that 80%, I would argue that's 95%. 95% of breakups are initiated, or divorces are initiated by women. Women get bored easy. Unfortunately, men, you have to keep them interested. You have to stay ambitious, because unfortunately, I made this mistake in my first, you know, few relationships. When I had a girlfriend, you know, I got too comfortable. I stopped, you know, being as motivated as I was. You know, I was starting to get too comfortable with, you know, with her. I was starting to like, oh, yo, do all this little cringeworthy love simp like shit. And unfortunately, she lost attraction and she broke it off with me. And unfortunately, guys, you cannot lose ambition. I get that now. I mean, I fucked up, but I've learned from my mistakes. And unfortunately, I keep making mistakes. You know, it's a learning game. So, you know, this video is me trying to explain to you men that being a man sucks. It's ass. Unfortunately, and especially in this day and age, because dating for men in this age is just beyond impossible. It is impossible for an average guy to get, let alone one single date. Guys have tried. I've heard so many stories from men I've talked to that have tried to get girls to talk to them, or try to get them to go on a date, and unfortunately they've either been ghosted, they don't get replied to, they get, you know, blocked or removed. And if they do go on a date, they make the mistake of paying on the first date, and then the girl just, like I said, she'll say, oh, I'm sorry, like, it was nice to hang out with you, it was fun to hang out with you, it was nice to get to know you. And most guys are like, what the fuck, so you got a free fucking meal out of me? That's what happens to most of these guys. And like I said in the beginning of this video, that's why most of these young boys, I would say, who are starting to become age into men, who are starting to enter adulthood, have already given up. They've seen what's happening, and they're like, yo, I don't stand a chance. And unfortunately, if you don't get your shit together, see, this is why right now I'm so focused on trying to get myself together. I realize that I have a lot of shit I need to fix right now. I have a lot of things to still get established, and unfortunately that's just the reality for men. If you don't have your shit together, if you don't have established, you're not going to get chicks. That's just how it is. And you probably will, but they're not going to stay with you. They're not going to take you seriously, because unfortunately chicks are always looking for upgrades. They're looking for someone better, and men are too. We're guilty of that shit too. Everyone, because of social media, is constantly thinking that something better is around the corner. And unfortunately, I think people should have the mindset, I may as well settle for this 6 or 7 and just be settled with that. And unfortunately, men don't have options to pick from. Women have unlimited options to choose from, because they constantly have men that are flocking up to them, trying to get their attention, trying to, battle to be the winner. Because unfortunately, in the world of men, our world is competition always. We are competing with each other. We are trying to be the top alpha male. We are trying, because the top alpha male gets the most hottest bitches. Or women. Sorry. If I said bitches that offends you, I'm sorry. It's just how it is, though. The alpha male gets the most women. And he gets the most sex. If you are the average guy, the low beta male, you're fucked. You don't get shit. Or you get very to rarely any options to pick from. And you get the very most unattractive girls, which every guy wants a hot chick. Every guy wants to have sex with hot women. It's just how it is. And unfortunately, most guys are just struggling to get sex. And unfortunately, I know it's just how it is. Guys want sex at the end of the day. There's nothing wrong with that. But guys, that's what men want. They want sex. And unfortunately, for most men, it is impossible for them to get it. That's why you see an increase in OnlyFans. That's why you're seeing pornography is at all-time high. The rates of pornography, I looked it up. It is one of the most richest companies, industrial. It's one of the world's most richest corporations, the porn industry, and it's at all-time high that's ever been. It's because the standards of women have been so unrealistically high. Men are failing to get women's attention, to be able to attract them, get dates, able to have access to be able to get sex, and that's why men are resorting to porn, into OnlyFans, because they are trying to get stimulation from that. And it's sad. I don't watch porn anymore. I still get tempted here and there to watch it, but I've quit, and it hasn't been easy, because I will admit I have my weaknesses as a guy. I want to, but at the end of the day, you gotta stay strong. You gotta say, pornography, it rewires your brain. It does a lot of negative effects to you, and it will definitely ruin your life as a man. Many times I have almost destroyed my life because of pornography. Pornography has done so much damage to my life, and especially my dating life. There was plenty of dates I fucked over because of pornography, because of this, expectations I had when it came to sex. And you may think I'm crazy, but think down. A guy who, most of you, I can guarantee you men have watched pornography. Practically all of you watch pornography. And if you haven't, then, that is amazing. And I would pray that you do not watch it, or get tempted to start getting the habit of watching it, because it is a sickness. It is an illness. It has nothing but negative effects on your body and your brain and your mental health. It will ruin you. It will destroy the way you view women. And unfortunately, a lot of men have been destroyed because of OnlyFans and pornography. And that's why it comes back to young generation of men or boys who are entering manhood and are giving up. They say, you know what, I haven't even gone on a date yet. I'm not even going to try, because I'm seeing what's happening in the dating world. I'm seeing what's happening to men in general that are trying to get girls to go out with them. They're getting told, to fuck off. They're getting told that men are toxic, masculine, bullshit, misogynistic, all this bullshit. And it just makes men feel like shit, because we built this world to give to women, and women are taking it. I feel like they're taking it, and they're just, taking all the positive values that men are providing for them, and then they're just they're spitting on us, and they're like, oh well, or spitting on men in general, and they're just like saying, yeah, we'll use you for benefits, but we hate you at the same time. I mean, that's from what I've been seeing. That's what it looks like we're going down this road, and I'm tired of this, war of the sexes. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of men fighting with women, women fighting with men. It's bullshit. We are here to complement each other. We're meant to be together. But at the end of the day, you have all this other crazy stuff. They're saying men and women are not meant to be with each other. Like, that is bullshit. That is complete ridiculous. And a lot of people, because of how impossible the dating world is now, at least in the Western culture, they are content with being single. And I can't argue with that. I mean, being single is positive because you're at peace. Men want peace. Even some women want peace, which I understand. There are a lot of shitty men. I don't just call out women. I call out men too. There are a lot of shitty guys who are fucking up for all the good men, because the shitty guys are fucking just smashing these girls, and then they fucking dump them on the side, or they do something horrible to the woman. They physically abuse her, mentally abuse her, do some shit, and they fucking ruin it for the other guys, because women, once they have a bad experience, from what I've learned with men, they just assume, because of their emotions, they just assume that's all men. Or they've had too many bad experiences with men. And unfortunately, that's why there's an increase in lesbianism. Women have had too many bad experiences with men. They say, fuck men, I'm gonna do women now. I'm surprised that men haven't become gay. Because men are constantly, like I said from this video, men are constantly having bad experiences with women. And they are constantly getting told to fuck off. They're getting accused of harassment. They're getting, get fucked over in the courts. Most men are having their hearts broken. They're getting played. They're getting, ripped off by women because they take them out on dates they pay for, and then they don't ever get heard back, or they just get fucked over. I'm surprised that most men haven't become gay because of that shit. But we handle things differently. We're like, okay, whatever. Not all the time, in general. But most men are just like, fuck it. Life sucks, I feel like a piece of shit, but whatever. Like, gotta move on with my life. I'm just gonna take a break from dating. I'm gonna focus on myself. Women don't operate the same way as men do. That's why with breakups, men take it so much harder, because men don't have options to immediately flock to get, back into a relationship. Women do. As soon as they break up, instantly the next guy in line who's been waiting for them will run right up to them. Men, they don't have options to pick from. They're alone. They have to go, try to get another girl to get interested in them. And it's just not easy for them, because most of the time they get told to fuck off. They're told they're a creep. They're perverted. They're being, sketchy. And unfortunately, a lot of guys do approach women the wrong way, but that's a video for another day. But most guys are just, in general, for dating, are giving up. I mean, that's just the reality of this world we're living in right now. So, I mean, if you've watched this video, thank you. Like, subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment if you agree, you disagree, and stay tuned for the next video.